one of the things that cadets have been asked, all of my guest speakers about, have been about how they've managed to get over the difficult times. It seems like the textbook formulation for entrepreneurship makes it seem very straightforward. You go through these different steps, now it pops a successful company. Right? And there's never a step 4, encounter major setback and mire and disappointment for 2 weeks. Can you tell us about a major setback you've had and how you've overcome it?
Well, both examples that I just gave you are examples where we were facing major issues. One was at NCR, the fact that it was taking forever for the development organization to get this new hot product that the group vice president wanted out. And we were throwing our money, meaning our P&L was being absorbed by this thing, and yet we had no control over it because it's a big company. And we had to figure out a way to get whatever we could out of it, right? But I've lived through, downturns and, cuts in defense spending when I was in the defense business. And
through that year.
You're right. You have to, so you always need to have a plan B. You should always be situationally aware, but you also should understand, also should have alternatives, because you rarely get from point A to point B as planned. In fact, even brilliant plans that I created rarely got from point A to full market adoption without some issue, whether it being, we took the chip that I explained to Cisco the first time, and all of our hopes, man, we had a Cisco vice president, corporate vice president on our board. We thought we had this nailed, right? They were going to be our flagship adopter. And we walked in, all the execs thought it was great. A couple of the lead design engineers in the business unit that was going to have to hand it was like, yeah, it was a great concept, but they got into a conflict of their own internally about what they were going to do with this thing, and it's drug on and drug on and drug on. I mean, if you try to sell something to Microsoft or Cisco, for a small company, delay, I mean, infinite delay is worse than a no.
That's right.
So we had sketched out a plan B, and the plan B was, okay, what happens if we have this great product that the large companies, Nortel, for example, or back then it was Nortel, Cisco, that class of company, we couldn't break into the R&D. We couldn't survive long enough for them to make a decision, or we got rebuffed by their R&D teams. And our plan B was, okay, let's take this, bundle it up, put some additional software on it, and go to ODMs and start marketing this as a complete turnkey to ODMs. Same platform, same hardware, same software. We built reference models, and of course the ODMs would take the reference models and tweak it for their particular implementations. But essentially for the ODMs, it was like, okay, you've done all the work. I mean, literally have done all the work. You're going to charge us, I think it was $10 for the chip and $3 or $4 for the software. And you guys are going to keep innovating the software. And I can go market this to not only Cisco, which they did, we got into Cisco through the back door, but we get to market to all the second and third tier players, and in many cases to the telecommunications entities within small to medium countries, including China and Japan. Japan, NTT adopted it, but they didn't adopt it because they bought the chip and the software. They adopted a platform for a Japanese ODM that did all the packaging, everything, and essentially it was our technology, embedded, and it went to market. So you always have to have a plan B. And you're never going to get from point A to market acceptance without running against some optical or some unforeseen threat or situational chaos. I mean, you just always have to have a plan B, and in some cases, a plan C.